Hi, I'm Aaron Freeman. Stay tuned. Taped with Rabbi Doug is next.
We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug on your TV tonight.
But Daddy, I want to watch Monday Night Football.
Forget about Monday Night Football. There's no other thing we're going to watch on Monday but Rabbi Doug.
Yeah, Rabbi Doug on TV tonight. We're going to see Rabbi Doug. Oh, everybody talk about Doug.
Shalom and welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. Glad you could be with us today. We are on the set of The Brother right now at the theater building in Chicago, currently playing, and with me is playwright and director John Hancock. John, welcome to the show. You have a list of credits that goes a mile long. How long have you been in the business, actually?
50 years.
50 years. You don't look old enough to be in the business 50 years, but I'll take your word for it that you're telling the truth. You worked on Hill Street Blues, Twilight Zone. Wow. As well as a number of other TV shows. You've worked on hundreds of commercials. It's amazing, and lots of films. Suspended Animation, California Dreaming, Baby Blue Marine, Steal the Sky, Let's Scare Jessica to Death, Piece of Eden, Prancer, Weeds, Bang the Drum Slowly, and you even had Academy Award nominations for Sticky My Fingers and Fleet My Feet. You just have an amazing resume, and not to mention all of the stage plays and stuff that you've done, and I congratulate you on your career. This is an amazing story because this is something that I know a lot of my viewers certainly know the story, at least if not in depth in general, because even I knew it as a young boy. And this is the espionage trial that led to the execution of Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, and this is really what the play centers on. And it's a drama focuses on Ethel's brother, David Greenglass. Can you tell us a little bit, for those who don't know the story well, what was David Greenglass's connection in the big picture of this whole story?
He was their contact at Los Alamos, and ended up by testifying against the two of them to save his wife from being indicted. And so he was presented with this terrible moral choice between his wife and his sister. Was he aware at the time that he testified that his sister could get the death penalty as she did? Oh, maybe. Possibly not. But, I mean, certainly technically he was. I mean, in the trial transcripts, they say, are you aware that she's facing the death penalty? And he said yes, but I mean, as he himself says, I didn't know anyone was dying. Let me go back a minute and just ask you, what brought John Hancock, and are you related to the original John Hancock that we know of? Well, my Aunt Gladys always says I was. I'm not certain. Well, we love that signature on the Declaration. And we love the building, too. Yeah. But is that what brought you to Chicago? It wasn't the building. What brought you to Chicago? Are you originally Chicagoan? And you returned to Chicago? I grew up in Berwyn and went to school in high school in Cicero and spent many years in New York and Los Angeles, and I'm back here. You're back here now. And you are the playwright. What does someone who does TV and movies and theater sit down and say, I have to write this up and turn it into a play because the story is so compelling? What brought this story to be compelling for you? I heard the editor of the News of the Week in Review for the New York Times, Sam Roberts, actually was the guy that tracked down David Greenglass and got him to finally, after all these years, tell the whole inside story of the case. I heard him interviewed on National Public Radio, and there was something that intrigued me about it. I bought the book and decided to option the rights. In terms of what it was in me, I've always been very interested in communism. Because you're a communist? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm not, but I'm in the theology. Yeah, I am. Yeah, and I also was appalled by the anti-Semitic aspects of the case. Growing up in Berwyn, where there were no Jews when I grew up there,
Although the biggest Jewish cemetery in the Chicago area is just a few blocks away from Berwyn. But yes,
there were none.
There weren't. They were east of you.
Yeah, and I remember the boy I sat next to in grade school showing me the pictures of the Rosenbergs with the most such a look of distaste. Oh, look at this! And I tell you, it was very strong. That they didn't look right. You know? He had the wrong glasses. They were too Jewish. And I'm certain that had they not been Jewish, they would not have received the death penalty. Of course, they got all these patriotic Jews to
do their thing.
And to prove that the Jews could be good Americans too. So that was one aspect of it. And I think the impulse to blame the Jews is something that's alive today, too. And that if and when the Sears Tower is hit with an airplane.
Or the John Hancock building.
Or the John Hancock.
God forbid.
Right. That will come into the fore very strongly. It's the fault of Israel.
You're an amazing man because you have great insight, and I think a lot of people agree with what you just said. Do you think that Jonathan Pollard's plight today, do you think that he could be in a different light, but in the same genre of Julius?
Sure, they were idealists. They were doing it because of something they believed in, and the Rosenbergs were caught in a tragic historical shift. I mean, in 1944, you had Stalin on the front cover of Life magazine with embracing children, kindly Uncle Joe. 4 years later, it was Stalin, the Red Hitler, on the cover of Life magazine. And when they shared these secrets with the Soviet Union, Russia was our ally. And the whole feeling, they were making Tender Comrade, they were making all these pro-Russian pictures in Hollywood. And the whole atmosphere in the country was different. And then all of a sudden in 48, they were our enemy.
What do you think the message you're trying to get across to the audience? Because a playwright doesn't write a play because they want people to come and see it and be entertained necessarily. There's a message that a playwright has for their audience besides telling a story. What is the message that you want people to walk away with when they see this play, which is currently playing as we speak? What is the message, the underlying message that people should walk away with?
Well, I do want it to be entertaining.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Of course you want it to be entertaining because people should walk out and say, that was great, I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
But you want them to walk away with something more than just entertainment, because the entertainment's over when you walk away from it. It's current. The entertainment when you see it. When you walk away and you remember a play or a movie or something because it left something in your heart, what are you trying to leave in their hearts?
Well, the difficulty of families. That it's very difficult to get along with your brother-in-law. That the power that a state can usurp when the public is scared is a very dangerous thing, and I think that gives it modern resonance.
Oh, it sure does. Absolutely. Even today, with the way the government has bypassed so many laws against terrorism to bypass things that normally would have been unconstitutional. Yeah. I tend to agree with you there 100%. Well, I can't tell you how happy I am to be part of this play and this whole message that you're about to share. I think that, the brother is something that everyone, if they have the opportunity, should come out to see. And thank you, John Hancock, so much for being with us. And stay with us here on Taped with Rabbi Doug for more from The Brother, the theater building, and Taped with Rabbi Doug, and we'll be right back.
6 years old, I stood with my parents and watched the Rosenbergs' black hearse drive slowly past. It was a hot, humid summer day. There were two questions in my family. How could Jews have done this to America? And how could America have done this to Jews? People were afraid it was the start of another pogrom. At the cemetery on Long Island, tense crowds of protesters lined the way.
A political rally, for God's sake. Such a hoopla. Does anybody care my son is in prison because of them? Bernie, I want you to write to V and tell him I don't want him to fret. I want him to know that if he had it to do all over again, I'd want him to testify just as truthfully as he did at the trial.
Hi, I'm Robbie Benson. You're watching Tape with Rabbi Doug.
Welcome back to Taped with Rabbi Doug. I am here with David Greenglass, Ethel Rosenberg, and Julius Rosenberg. Wow, you guys have changed. No, but seriously, this is Bob Bruler. Robert, good to meet you. And this is Justine Serino.
Yes, hello.
Welcome. And this is Anthony Tournes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys. I want to go over to David Greenglass first. Bob, how does it feel to play almost the bigger traitor than the famous people?
Well, it's a challenge, you know. My career has been about playing guys like this. Mm-hmm. You know, not very likable guys, you know, who have behaved poorly, and yet, you know, you want to listen to their story. You know, so it's more interesting than playing, say, the hero, who are very boring to me. You know, they're very dull people, and I'm not very interested in.
You don't.
Maybe it's the devil that I'm more interested in than the. Don't you say?
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It gives
fascinating guy.
It gives you a chance to play a fascinating guy. Exactly. Yeah. Let me ask you, and not to toot your own horn. That's not what I'm asking. But are there things that we Chicagoans would know you from?
I'm a member of Steppenwolf Ensemble. Mm-hmm. I was just in Anne Frank there.
Very nice.
Penultimate show. The last one just closed August, Osage County. I was in Anne Frank. I played Mr. Crowler, one of the chaps who brought the food and everything to the Franks. Yeah,
great part.
I read in the review. Some reviewer said, "I think Mr. Crowler is the guy who turned him in." I was ready to phone him up. I said, "Where did you get that idea?" You know.
Oh boy!
These critics, I don't know. You know,
they don't know.
They're in that job because they're like this, but they don't have to say things like that.
Of course not.
Make me feel bad.
Ethel Rosenberg,
my sister.
Yeah.
Justine, you are the younger sister. At least here you are.
Here I am.
But you were in the real life. David was older than his sister, right?
No, actually, I was 7. Ethel was 7 years older than me.
Really, Ethel was 7 years older. So, very interesting. Mm-hmm. So, it's an interesting way to play it. Tell me, what is your attraction to this part?
When I was first approached about doing it, I immediately jumped online and started doing a lot of research, and I was floored by the similarities between her personality traits and my own. And I didn't know that much about the case at the time. I've obviously have studied up on it since then. And I was really struck by the choice that she made to look at the bigger picture and to think, you know, it was difficult. The idea that she was going to make a choice that would separate her, possibly for the rest of her life, from her children, who were very important to her. But she was looking at the larger picture. And if she caved, and if she named names, and if she did what the government was asking her to do, yes, she would be reunited with her children. But what was she really offering?
Would her cause have really been met?
Yeah, what kind of a world are we living in if everybody just does that and nobody stands up for what they believe is the right thing?
Absolutely. Anthony, Julius Rosenberg is a folk hero today. Yeah. Today he's a folk hero. Today, when people who know the story think of Julius Rosenberg, they say he was shafted, he was really a good guy, and I think people who know do think that. How does it feel to be a folk hero and to play the part of a folk hero who at the time was considered to be like, one of the most terrible people on the earth?
Well, it all comes down to after researching it, all comes down to the propaganda of the time. like was said before, the communists were our friends before the war and during the war, but then after the war, everything took a slight shift, and I started finding a lot of...
More than slight.
Yeah. I started finding a lot of propaganda films from the mid to late 40s and 50s, and just the black and white difference of how communism was viewed beforehand, and then after that, it really just put it all into this whole different world. And when we bring them into it, when we bring Julius Rosenberg into it, who, after doing a lot of research, yes, he could have done the things that they convicted him of, but the actual information that he passed on wasn't great enough. I would equate it to just downloading a ton of music these days, something that, yeah, you can go to jail for, but you shouldn't be put to death for.
Right. Very good. I like that analogy. Let me come back to the two of you as husband and wife in this part, because the two of you really have that actor look about you. I mean, you have like the mustache, the high hair, and you have like the wavy, to the side. The two of you look like, professional actors before I even know that you're in this play. What brought you into acting to begin with first, Mr. Julius Rosenberg?
It was watching movies when I was a kid and saying, I want to be like that guy, I want to be like that guy, and then saying, oh, well, it's the same guy playing a whole bunch of different roles. I want to try that instead.
Very cool. And what might we know you for Chicago theater watchers?
Earlier this year, I played Charlie Chaplin in a show called Sound of Silence.
I wonder if that
fits. Yeah.
Very cool.
Right after that, I just did The Elephant Man out in Oak Park. I'm a member of the Factory Theater, which has been running in the city for about 15 years. So.
Great.
Those are my credentials.
Great. Miss Ethel Rosenberg, what brought you into acting?
I can't quite say. My mother tells me that when I was very little, I used to say that I was going to be an actress. And then I learned to read, and I wanted to be all the things I was reading about, a teacher and a farmer and all these things. And gradually, somewhere in middle school, I just came back around I started doing plays, and it just felt right. And I've always kind of felt like this is the only thing I know how to do. Everything else I try, I like to get caught.
Did you train my children? Because that's what they all want to do. They want to be every character that they see, every book that they read, every character, and
that's a normal thing, though, isn't it?
I think it is. So you grew into acting out of your love for childhood pretending.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thing. And what might we know you for Chicago theater goers?
The thing that your audiences might know me from is a few years ago at the theater building over there, actually, I played Mrs. Birnbaum, Sophie Birnbaum in Prairie Lights for stage left, which was wonderful.
Great, that's a great part. I actually have acted in the theater building and been in plays also, yes, many years ago.
What are your credentials?
Rabbi? Actually, in one of the plays, I played a rabbi. So there you go. Well,
real stretch for you.
I want to tell you guys, the three of you and everyone here who's involved with the play, and this is a story that a lot of people don't even know about. Of course, the folk hero followers all know about the Rosenbergs and the story. I don't think they know so much about David, and I think that one of the great things, as John Hancock mentioned, is that it brings out this side of the story which builds up to the whole climax.
It's a different way to tell the story.
Exactly, and I love that he wrote this play in this way because it does so. This is a great way to spread the word, and I think that's what plays and theater are all about, not only entertaining but spreading the word. And I wish you all much success in your careers. Thanks for being with us, and we're just going to visit with some techies for a minute, and stay with us here on Tape with Rabbi Doug. We'll be right back.
For what you received from Davy when you moved to New Mexico.
She'll go there?
That might not be wise, but maybe you can meet in Denver and exchange pocketbooks in a movie theater.
What about a husband? Does he know about this? Is he okay?
I doubt that he would approve.
Well, he's just going to let her run off to Denver for a couple of months.
If she can't do it, we'll find someone else. If she can't make it, then this half of the Jell-O box will be brought to you by another party, and they will bear greetings from me, and you know that I will have sent them.
Oh my God. So cloak and dagger.
That's clever. Hey, simplest things are the cleverest.
Stay tuned. Taped with Rabbi Doug will be right back.
I am American.
I am an American.
I'm an American.
I am American.
I am America.
I'm an American.
I am American.
I am an American.
Hi, I'm Governor Rod Blagojevich, and you're watching Taped with Rabbi Doug.
We're back here on the set of The Brother, and I'm here with Jeff Hines, a pleasure, and Stephanie Hurwitz. And you are two techies here. Jeff is the lighting designer, and Stephanie, what's your actual role in this play? Because I know you do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff for the plays that you're involved with.
I'm the stage manager.
You're stage manager for this play. Very nice. You know, you two, I don't think people really know that for a play to get off and really to entertain the audience, the set itself has to lure them into the genre that the play is all about. And really, the changing of colors of lights and brightness and darkness and the lighting up of certain props on and off in a play can change the whole demeanor of the play. How long have you been a lighting director, and was that all you did when you got into theater?
It's all I've done in theater, yeah. It's probably been about 25 years.
25 years. And what was your origin? Did you go to school for this?
I took classes in college, did not major in it or anything.
But it's something that you love, obviously,
yes,
because you're doing it. And Stephanie, how did you get into theater? And I know you've been in it for a long time, too. And what is your attraction to stay with it?
Well, it's not the money. I actually got into theater in high school, and what happened was a friend of mine had been going to drama club, and she said, "Oh, so much fun! This is great. You need to come to drama club."
Von Steuben High School.
At Von Steuben High School, yes. And I went with her one day, and it happened to be the day that they were taking pictures for the yearbook. And so I was in the picture, and it was my first day ever going to drama club. And there were certain people in school who went around to different clubs and organizations the day that they got their photos taken for the yearbook, just so that they could be in more photos in the yearbook. And I didn't want to be one of those people, so I kind of stayed in drama club out of guilt. And that's how I got into theater. And my first class in college was a theater class, and we had to do technical practicum hours in the class to complete it. Yeah, I went to Cornell College in Mount Vernon, Iowa. And so I did tech stuff then, and I enjoyed it, and I liked the people working in it, and I found that I kind of had a knack for it. And then I got into stage management, sort of by accident, but it's something that I've enjoyed doing, and I've
being part of the team,
honed my skills. Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, Stephanie is a dear friend of mine and my family, and she is the one who told me about The Brother to begin with, and got me to be so interested in meeting John Hancock. And this play is amazing. You guys have done an amazing job. The set, the props are just amazing. And I want to thank you guys for being with us. And I want to thank you for being with us. So stay tuned. Remember, check out our website, www.tvrabbi.com. And if you want to drop us an email, info@tvrabbi.com. And on our website, you can actually see a lot of our shows just by clicking on the link. If you don't have cable TV and you're watching us in someone else's house, well, go ahead to tvrabbi.com and check it out. And we'll be back for some more, but we hope to see you next week right here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Shalom.
I have deliberated for hours, days, and nights. Every nerve and every fiber of my being has been taxed. I have searched the records, and I have searched my conscience for some reason for mercy, for it's only human to be merciful and to try and spare lives. But I find your crimes to be worse than murder. Putting the bomb in the hands of the Russians caused, in my opinion, the communist aggression in Korea, with death tolls exceeding 50,000, and who knows but that millions more may pay the price of your treason. It's not up to me, Julius and Ethel, to forgive you. Only the Lord can do that. The sentence of this court upon the defendants Rosenberg is the punishment of death, and it shall be handed out in the week of May the 21st. He will be executed according to law. We will take a short recess.
The death sentence. Nobody ever mentioned the death penalty. We weren't at war with the Russians. We were friends. Never that anybody would be dying.
So near and yet so far, my dearest Ethel, my precious nightingale. How I wish I could see you. Can you believe this? But I know we will win our freedom eventually. Because the American people are basically good and fair, and they will certainly...
Rosenberg's appeal was denied today by the New York District Appellate Supreme Court today refused to hear the Rosenberg's appeal.
Have you anything you'd like to say?
Nothing.
The fact that I'm going to show you some consideration does not mean that I condone your actions nor minimize them in any respect. They were loathsome and they were contemptible. But I must recognize your help in bringing to justice the arch criminals in this nefarious scheme. So I shall follow the recommendation of the government and sentence you to 15 years in prison.
I'll get through this. Oh, it's real life. We're going to live through this. Don't worry.
This has been a Taped with Rabbi Doug presentation.